Hello there, you're watching Leadership TV. I am Cynthia Onado. Here are the news headlines on a news bulletin. Primate Ayodele issues prophetic warning for 8 African nations. Japan cancels Africa exchange program amid immigration backlash. Ex-French President Sarkozy found guilty of criminal conspiracy in Libya. Police declare 38-year-old Prince Kemal Kolam wanted for attempted murder fraud. And finally, on entertainment, singer Rudeboy vows to find woman who accused him of rape. Now we take the news in detail. The leader of INRI Evangelical Spiritual Church, Primate Elijah Ayodele, has issued fresh prophetic warnings concerning political development and possible crisis in 8 African countries. In a statement signed by his media aide, Osho Oluwatosin, the cleric listed Cameroon, Tanzania, Sudan, Kenya, Namibia, Mozambique, Libya, and the Central African Republic as nations facing looming challenges. In Cameroon, he cautioned that the country could face stagnation, predicaments, and even separation if President Paul Biya returns to power through what he described as force, rigging, and oppression. He warned that if care isn't taken, the country will be turned into a war zone. On Tanzania, Primate Ayodele predicted that the president would suppress opposition to secure re-election, adding that prayers were needed to avert political crisis, shootings, and widespread protests. For Sudan, he said peace will remain elusive until government forces and the rapid support forces agree to share power, warning of a possible assassination of a prominent leader if the conflict persists. In Kenya, the cleric said opposition victory would be difficult unless younger voters unite. According to him, President William Ruto will use all his power to return to office even if he has to rig, while urging Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua not to contest. Turning to Namibia, Ayodele forecasted economic growth but warned that corruption and internal betrayal in government could undermine progress. On Mozambique, he predicted an internal crisis as the government clamps down on opposition, leading to protests that may paralyze the country for nearly 2 weeks. He also warned of unusual robbery incidents. In Libya, the prophet raised concerns over killings, attacks on foreigners, and threats to the country's refinery, while urging vigilance against controversial international policies. For the Central African Republic, he predicted that the president would seek re-election but face stiff resistance. He warned of possible terrorist activities that could destabilize the country if not addressed. Moving on now, Japan has cancelled a cultural exchange program with African nations after widespread misinformation fueled fears of mass migration. The Japan International Cooperation Agency, GICA, announced on Thursday that it would withdraw the GICA Africa Hometown initiative, which was meant to foster social and cultural ties between 4 African countries and 4 regional Japanese cities. Instead, the project triggered a wave of alarm. Residents inundated local governments with phone calls and emails, mistakenly believing the program was a new immigration policy that would bring African migrants to their communities. GICA President Akihiko Tanaka told reporters the project caused misunderstanding and confusion. The Africa Hometown initiative will be withdrawn. The backlash was partly fueled by a Nigerian government statement suggesting Japan would create a special visa category alongside social media posts claiming the program was a pathway to settlement in Japan. Despite repeated denials from the GICA and the participating cities, Kizarasu, Sanjo, Imabari, and Nagai, local officials said the controversy disrupted municipal operations as angry messages continued to pour in. The cancellation comes at a time of heightened anti-immigration sentiments in Japan, where foreigners comprise just 3% of the workforce. While the country faces a shrinking population, right-wing political groups such as the Sansieto Party have gained support by calling for tougher immigration controls. Tanaka emphasized that the GICA is not responsible for immigration policies and would continue running international exchange programs, including those involving African nations, but without any immigration component. Now, the former French president, Nicolas Sarkozy, has been convicted of criminal conspiracy in a case involving millions of euros in illicit funds allegedly provided by late Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi. A Paris criminal court delivered the verdict on Thursday, though Sarkozy was acquitted of charges of passive corruption and illegal campaign financing. The 70-year-old former president, who served from 2007 to 2012, has consistently denied wrongdoing, describing the case as politically motivated. Prosecutors accused him of using Gaddafi's money to finance his 2007 presidential campaign in exchange for helping the Libyan leader improve his global standing. Judge Natalie Gavarino said Sarkozy permitted his close aides to seek financial support from Libyan officials. However, the court ruled there was insufficient evidence to prove that he personally benefited from the illegal financing. Sarkozy's sentencing was expected later in the day. The case dates back to 2013 when Libyan leader Gaddafi's son, Saif al-Islam, first alleged that Sarkozy received millions from his father. The following year, Lebanese businessman Ziad Taqiyuddin claimed to have written proof that Tripoli abundantly financed Sarkozy's campaign with payments worth up to 50 million euros continuing after he became president. Other senior figures faced trial alongside Sarkozy. Claude Gwend, a former interior minister, was found guilty of corruption, while another ex-interior minister, Brice Hortefeux, was convicted of criminal conspiracy. Sarkozy's wife, Carla Bruni Sarkozy, was also implicated last year, accused of hiding evidence linked to the case and associating with wrongdoers, charges she denied. This is not the first time Sarkozy has faced conviction. In February 2024, he appealed against a ruling that found him guilty of overspending on his 2012 re-election campaign. In 2021, he was found guilty of attempting to bribe a judge, becoming the first former French president to receive a custodial sentence, which he served under house arrest with an electronic tag. Despite repeated legal battles, Sarkozy maintains his innocence, insisting the charges are part of a campaign to destroy his political legacy. Now, the Nigerian police force has declared one Okoro Prince Nkema wanted over alleged involvement in multiple criminal offenses, including attempted murder, fraud, assault, conspiracy, threat to life, and criminal breach of trust. A declaration was contained in a special police gazette bulletin released on Thursday through the force's official X handle. According to the bulletin, the High Court of Abuja issued the warrant of arrest. The Office of the Assistant Inspector General of Police, Interpol, and the National Central Bureau at Force Headquarters Abuja handled the case. The police alleged that Nkema Kolam attacked a complainant with a machete and knife, inflicting deep cuts to the head and body that required multiple stitches. The victim reportedly escaped death by the whiskers. Nkema Kolam, 38, was described as a medium height and build, copper complexion with a square-shaped face. He often dresses in Western clothes and speaks Igbo fluently. He was last sighted in the Benin Abakaliki area of Umuobo community in Onitsha local government area of Ebonyi State. The force has appealed to members of the public to provide helpful information that could lead to his arrest. Anyone with information is urged to report to the nearest police station. Finally, on entertainment news, Nigerian singer Paul Okoye, known professionally as Rudeboy, has vowed to track down and pursue legal action against an ex-user who accused him of sexually assaulting a domestic worker. The controversy began after one ex-user at Dark-Skinned Temi suggested Rudeboy had been unfaithful to his ex-wife with a housemaid. The allegation intensified when another user, identified as Ayomide Agola at Chubi Diva, posted a sharper claim accusing the singer of having raped and coerced their domestic help, and added that the woman was most likely way younger. Rudeboy responded on Wednesday on X, addressing at Chubi Diva directly and warning that he would use his resources to make an example of her and to pursue the matter in court. The singer's message quickly drew a storm of reactions online. Some supporters praised his readiness to seek redress, while others expressed alarm at the language and the threats implied in the phrase about leaving the earth. Observers and commentators raised concerns for the safety of the woman named in the post and urged anyone who felt threatened to seek protection and to make that risk public so authorities could act. Shortly after the exchanges, the account linked to the sharper allegation was reported to have been deactivated. Threads and community boards documented the rapid spread of screenshots and reactions, complicating efforts to verify both the original allegation and the singer's counterclaims. That's all the news we have for you on Leadership TV. For more of our news stories, you can log on to our website, www.leadership.ng. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have